What if the reason you are not wealthy has nothing to do with your job? Today we are diving deep into the psychology of wealth and the hidden mental patterns that separate those who build lasting wealth from those who stay stuck. This is not about working harder, it is about thinking differently. By the end of this video you will understand the exact mental frameworks that wealthy people use unconsciously. You will also learn how you can start applying them starting today. Let's get into it. Most people think wealth is about income, but that is only half the story. The real difference between the wealthy and everyone else lives in their psychology. Psychologists call these mental patterns money scripts, and they run on autopilot. Your money scripts were formed before you ever made your first dollar. They came from your parents, your culture, and your early experiences with money. Now here is the uncomfortable truth: most people never examine these scripts. They just repeat them over and over while wondering why their financial situation never changes. Section 1 is about the status trap, and it is more dangerous than you think. Humans are wired to seek status because historically status meant survival. In hunter-gatherer tribes, higher status meant better food and more protection. Our brains have not updated the software even though the game has completely changed. Today people spend money to signal status to people they do not even like. Think about the person who leases a luxury car they cannot afford. They are not buying transportation, they are buying a message. The message is I matter, I have made it, look at me. But here is what nobody tells you: nobody is actually looking. Studies show that people dramatically overestimate how much others notice their purchases. This phenomenon has a name: the spotlight effect. The person stressing about their outfit at a party is barely noticed by anyone else. The same thing happens with luxury purchases. You feel like you are broadcasting success, but you are mostly broadcasting to yourself. This is the first psychological trap of wealth: spending money to feel different instead of actually becoming different. The wealthy understand something crucial: true status comes from competence and results, not consumption. Jeff Bezos drives a modest car despite being one of the richest people on earth. Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,000. These are not anomalies, they are data points that reveal a different psychology. When your identity is tied to what you own, you become a prisoner of your possessions. Every purchase becomes a statement about who you are. This creates a treadmill where you must keep spending to maintain the feeling. But when your identity is tied to what you do and what you know, your status becomes unshakable. You cannot lose your skills in a market crash or have them repossessed. This is the foundation of sustainable wealth: building identity capital instead of status symbols. Section 2 is about delayed gratification, and it is not what you think. You have probably heard the marshmallow test: kids who wait get more marshmallows. The study showed that delayed gratification predicts life outcomes like income and health. But here is what the popular version leaves out: the follow-up research was far more nuanced. The original study was conducted in a controlled environment with specific cultural contexts. When researchers looked at children from different backgrounds, the results changed dramatically. The key variable was not willpower, it was trust. Kids who came from unstable environments could not trust that the second marshmallow would actually arrive. So they took what was certain rather than risk getting nothing. This changes everything about how we think about delayed gratification. For many people, the inability to delay gratification is not a character flaw. It is an adaptation to an environment where promises were not kept. So how do you build the capacity to delay gratification when your psychology is telling you to take the bird in hand? The answer is not to white-knuckle your way through temptation. The answer is to change the story you tell yourself about the future. When the future feels abstract and uncertain, your present self will always win. But when the future feels vivid and real, your brain treats it like a present opportunity. Wealthy people do not have superhuman willpower, they have a more compelling vision of their future self. They have mentally walked through what their life looks like in 5 or 10 years if they make smart choices today. This is why visualization works. It makes the abstract future feel concrete and motivating. Section 3 is about risk tolerance, and it is misunderstood by almost everyone. Most people think risk tolerance is about how much money you can lose. But that is only the surface level. Real risk tolerance is about identity and the stories you tell yourself about who you are. If you see yourself as someone who plays it safe, you will find safety in every opportunity. If you see yourself as someone who takes calculated risks, you will find opportunities that others overlook. This is why simply learning about investing is not enough. You can know everything about stocks, real estate, and business and still not act on it. The missing piece is identity. You have to see yourself as the type of person who does these things. There is a psychological concept called implementation intentions that explains this. Instead of saying I want to save more money, you say I will save $200 on the first of every month. The difference is specificity and commitment to an identity. Research shows that people who phrase goals as implementation intentions are significantly more likely to follow through. The wealthy use this principle constantly. They do not just want to build wealth, they see themselves as wealth builders. This identity shapes every small decision throughout the day. When an opportunity comes up, they do not ask should I take a risk, they ask does this fit my identity as someone who builds wealth. Section 4 is about habits and the identity feedback loop that most people miss. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. This is how habits build identity over time. If you save money every month, you are not just building a savings account, you are voting for being a saver. After enough votes, you stop identifying as someone who struggles with money. You become someone who naturally makes decisions that align with financial growth. This is the secret that nobody talks about. Wealth is not a destination, it is a pattern. The wealthy do not make one big decision that changes everything. They make thousands of small decisions that compound over years. Each decision is small enough to feel insignificant, but together they create a completely different life. This is why crash diets and get-rich-quick schemes almost never work. They try to override the pattern with a single dramatic action. But the pattern always reasserts itself because it is rooted in identity. The only way to create lasting change is to change the underlying identity. Section 5 is the practical framework you can start using today. Step 1 is to audit your money scripts. Write down every belief you have about money that feels automatic. Ask yourself where this belief came from and whether it is actually serving you. Most people discover they are running on programming from decades ago. Step 2 is to separate status spending from value spending. For 1 month, track every purchase and label it as status or value. Status spending makes you feel good in the moment but has no lasting return. Value spending improves your capabilities, health, or future earning potential. Step 3 is to make your future self vivid and real. Create a vision board or write a detailed description of your life in 5 years. Include specific details about where you live, how you spend your time, and who you spend it with. Review this vision daily. This rewires your brain to treat the future as real. Step 4 is to make implementation intentions for every financial goal. Do not say I will save more, say I will transfer $500 to savings every month on payday. Step 5 is to build identity capital instead of status symbols. Invest in skills, knowledge, and relationships that compound over time. A certification that increases your earning potential is worth more than any luxury item. These 5 steps will not make you rich overnight, nothing will. But they will change the underlying psychology that determines your financial trajectory. The wealthy are not smarter or luckier, they have a different relationship with time, status, and identity. They understand that wealth is a psychological game first and a financial game second. Once you upgrade your psychology, the financial strategies become obvious. You stop chasing status and start building competence. You stop seeking immediate pleasure and start investing in your future self. You stop seeing yourself as someone who plays it safe and start seeing yourself as someone who builds things. This is the psychology of wealth, and it is available to anyone willing to do the inner work. If this video gave you something valuable, hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below. I read every comment and respond to as many as I can. If you want more videos on the hidden systems behind money and success, that is exactly what this channel is about. Until next time, keep building. Remember, the goal is not just to make money, it is to become the type of person who naturally creates and keeps wealth. Thanks for watching.